Hey everybody, Blair Nightingale here. Welcome to Market Monday, a special pre-recorded Market Monday. Wanted to make sure that I am with you as always, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Monday nights. This is our TRADEway YouTube channel, Facebook page, wherever you're joining us from tonight. We're glad to have you. We are doing programs, broadcasting, Bible, finance, stock market, all the time on these channels. So if you haven't liked or subscribed, like on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you do that. It's real simple to do. Just click the bell on YouTube there, or you can hit the like button on Facebook. That way, anytime we go live, it will let you know. Okay, it's not going to bombard you with stuff, but it will let you know that we have some things coming up because there's a lot of great content on here. It's myself, many of the other coaches here at TRADEway, helping you guys understand what is the process, the journey we're really on as Christians with finances, and specifically, as I mentioned, looking at the stock market, which of course is why we do Market Monday. So here we are for another episode of Market Monday. I really like the topic tonight, okay? I like the topic. It's really important, and it's actually fairly simple. Right? It is not complex, what we're going to look at. Tonight, we are going to look at stock trading. Shocking, I know. Stock trading, hobby versus a business. And this is a really important conversation for anybody who has dreams, desires, goals, right? Financial dreams, desires, and goals that they are wondering, or perhaps are already pursuing it, if the stock market and trading and learning to trade in the stock market is something that can help get them to those dreams, those desires, and those goals. You're spending this time with us tonight, and many of you have been on many of these Market Monday broadcasts. You spend the time. You know, a good investor will spend, but it's not just spending, is it? It's an investment. We always want to get more out than we put in. We call that a return on investment or an ROI. You want to get an ROI. So if you're going to get into trading, it's because you're expecting a return on investment. Now, I'm not just talking about dollars. I say to people all the time, everybody wants to make more money, right? And I'm not going to stand on here tonight and tell you why you should or shouldn't, or what you should or shouldn't do if you were successful at trading, right? What should you do with your money? I help folks understand that having goals, writing them out, very important. Very important. But I'm not going to filter what you should do, right? We've got a lot of people watching this broadcast right now, and that means you guys have different desires. You have different places of the kingdom that you want to impact. Your family has different needs, right? Personally, you have different things that you would like to do, wants and needs, right? The scripture talks about God addressing both of those. But I do tell people, you know what? Write out your list, write out the things you want, things that are most important to you, which by the way is very important because that's what motivates you to move out of where you are and into where you could be. It's very important that we think about what is it that God has put in my heart as a desire. And then we simply pray, God, you work and will in me to do your good pleasure. That's what the scripture says. So if he works and wills in me to do his good pleasure, then there might be some things on my list that I'm going to say, you know what? That doesn't belong on the list. I'm going to take it off. And I'm going to let you do that with me, Lord. Maybe there's something that I ought to keep on the list. And I thought maybe I should take it off. Right? And he doesn't have me do that. Or maybe there's something that needs to be added. And of course, my list, I'm adding to it as well, right? I challenge people. I don't have time to go into this tonight, but I challenge people to write 150 things they want. We have not because we ask not. So go ahead, write it down. But what are your top things, right? I want you to think about that. What is the top thing? And this is very important for hobby versus business. And that's our topic tonight. What is the main thing? Man, if trading could transform this area, because we've already established, right? There are people who make millions and millions of dollars in the stock market. There are people who lose millions in the stock market, right? Not everybody has millions. So people maybe lose Thousands, right? People make thousands. What level would begin to change your life is my question. So it's not a question of whether or not money is made or lost in the stock market. Some of us think money's only lost in the stock market. It is. It is. But there's no doubt money is made and lost in the stock market. Learning the skill set of trading can be the difference between the two, right? That is the potential of trading, is learning how to move from one group and get closer to the other. So if you were successful at trading, what would that mean for your life? What are the main things in your life that would begin to transform? That's very important to think about as we move into tonight's topic. Even maybe just jot a few down, right? As you're listening tonight, think about that, hold it in front of your mind or write it down, because those things are what are going to drive whether or not trading is a hobby or it is a business. And I'm going to tell you the difference tonight. But that's the secret piece right there. That is the main difference, really the main difference between choosing to make trading a hobby and choosing to make it a business. Okay? And I think that's why it's such a great topic to cover. I really believe tonight, as you're watching, some people, the light bulbs are going to come on. The light bulbs are going to come on because you're going to go, oh my goodness. I actually identified what I really want to do, and I am connecting to what it's going to take for me to actually do that. But as you believe that new results are possible, then new actions become desirable. If new results are actually possible, then new actions are desirable. But if we don't actually know that new results are possible, right? That's the potential of it. Well, then new actions, they're not desirable. They're something we tend to avoid. So that's very, very important. So here's the first thing. What would you do if you were successful at trading? Now that's important, as I said 3 times now. Let me tell you why. Because for the trader, okay, for the trader, the difference between hobby and business, I could put it like this. I just said your list of 150 things. The difference between hobby and business, the difference is that the 150 things for the hobby is a wish list. It's a wish list. I wish, right? And for the business, it's a goal list. Wishes, if you wish upon a star, right? I love Disneyland. I'm going there in 3 days. And that's that song, right? That famous Disney song, If You Wish Upon a Star. Disneyland is a funny place because they call it the happiest place on earth. And listen, I know there's some very controversial things about Disney. I'm well aware of that. But, it's not actually real. It's not actually real. A wish list is something that and I'm just going to be real. Can we be real with each other tonight? Market Monday. Can we be real? Because I think when we're real with love, it can really help us, right? I got people in my life do that for me. The Holy Spirit certainly isn't afraid to do that with me. I'm glad he's gentle at times, but if we can be real, I would say that the wish list is a way that we lie to ourselves. It's a way we lie to ourselves, right? And it's possible that the things, let's just say you and I had a list of 100 things. Let's just assume that we've already finished that. Now, if there are things on that list, right? And this isn't about, let me just say this. This isn't just about being selfish. Let me just write 100 materialistic things on a list. No. Anything that you would want to impact if you were successful at trading, anything that you would want to impact. In my 5-day Faith and Finance Challenge, I actually share with the students some of the things that are on my list. Some of them are about my family. Some of them are about my health. Some of them are about economic areas of of the country that I want to impact, right? So let me just say that quick. It doesn't have to be just these stuff. Now, I've got a few things on there that I want, right? You're joining me tonight in the studio. There's lots of things I like in my studio. I play music a lot, right? So that's a piece of me. What's a piece of you? What would you have on your list? Okay. Now, if the things on your list don't really move you, well, then you're not really lying to yourself. You just have a list that it's just not really going to move you. It's not what you really want. It's not what you really want. And it's important that we identify some of those things, because what if God wants to move through you in those areas? What if you are the catalyst to bring transformation to the things you put on your list? That's pretty exciting, if you ask me. Pretty exciting. But if we make a list and we treat it as a hobby, right? Trading is a hobby. Dip the toe, right? I'm dipping the toe. I'm just kind of kicking it around. Days are passing by. Weeks are passing by. Months are passing by. I was just sitting at my studio desk here and looking at the July 4th. I had to check the date for next Monday, right? I'll be out for a few days, which is why we're doing this recording here. Oh, it's the 26th, right? This is being recorded on the 22nd. The 26th, I thought, wow, it was just the 4th of July. It was just the 4th of July. That's almost 30 days. 30 days of life. It's coming quick. It's going quick. That doesn't demotivate me. That's not heavy to me. That's not oppressive to me. That's motivating to me. That's very motivating to me, because life is passing by. And I can't afford to be kicking around a wish list, right? That's not how I want to live. And I don't want to watch the people who don't have a wish list from the sidelines, but they actually have a goal list, right? People who have a goal list treat stock trading like a business. Those are the people we're looking at. And it could be in any area of life, couldn't it? We're talking about stock trading. It could be in any area. You say, that person's getting breakthrough. What happens? We say, whoa, how'd you do that? Why? Because they're living in something that we say, well, if I could live in that, that would be great. That would have an effect on my life. I want. So let's not have a wish list. Let's not have a wish list. Let's have something better than wish upon a star, right? Let's have a goal list. And practically, which is what I'm going to talk about now, practically, that switches us from hobby to business. When it comes to trading, a lot of people treat it as a hobby. The very first Market Monday we ever did, it's over a year ago now, well over a year ago, I talked about, do most traders who start trading really wash out of the market, meaning they fail and they quit within the first year? Okay? That's our very first episode, or at least one of the first 2 or 3. And what's interesting about that conversation is, since we first had that talk, millions of new people have come into the stock market. What's the difference between most of them and you? Well, you are seeking some training, which is the number one reason why people wash out of the market. They don't have any training. They don't know the skills that they need to have to move from a place of being new to the place they actually want to get to. From being a hobbyist to a business owner. Right? That's a huge, huge difference. A lot of people are attracted to the stock market more now than ever before in this country. And it's easier. It's easier to get involved than it's ever been. It's way easier to get involved now than it was in 2016 when I started just a short time ago. Right? So it's exciting, but we've got to understand how to make the switch from hobby to business. So let's go through this practically, okay? What is trading as a hobby? Now, I've done this, and I see this in new students, right? I see this, but I've done this myself. Number one, a hobby. Well, a hobby costs you money, but it doesn't make you any money. Okay? A hobby costs you money, but it doesn't make you any money. But here's the big thing. We don't even really approach it in a way that's serious about the bottom line, right? It's something we do because we enjoy a piece of it, but it's really something we do on our own terms. We choose it when we want to choose it, right? And we put money into it, but not really as an investment. Remember I said ROI, return on investment? Nobody starts a business and says, well, I'm just going to put time, energy, and money into this, and it doesn't really matter. I'm just doing it for fun. Now, some people might just trade for fun, right? I'm not really going to try to do much. Well, I would say two things about that. Number one, if the commitment level is just trading for fun, I would say let's make sure we don't risk a lot of money, right? And number two, don't expect a lot of results, right? Don't expect consistent results. Don't expect to learn the disciplines of trading. And if the things on your list, right, if the outcome is a lot higher than the commitment level, we've got to recognize there's a gap there, and we've got to be okay saying, no, I'd rather just do a hobby. Outcome level's got to come down to commitment level. You say, no, Blair, I really want to do that. Okay, then commitment level is going to have to come up, and we're getting more into a business at that point. I'll talk more about that in a minute, but trading as a hobby costs you money, but doesn't make any money. That's what hobbies are, right? We do them for enjoyment. We just do them for enjoyment, and they're just expenses in almost all cases, right? We don't want it to cost us something, and I don't just mean money, right? At the same time, I said that we have to pay for them, but they don't make us money. At the same time, hobbies aren't necessarily something that we want to cost us anything, right? We give to them what we enjoy. We don't go beyond that commitment level. We don't want to pay a price. It's just something we enjoy, right? It's almost like this, right? You may have to pay for a particular hobby, but if there's something uncomfortable about it, you don't have to do it. It's just a hobby, right? You know, I'm not really having fun doing this anymore. I'm just going to quit, right? It's totally different as a hobby. Totally different as a hobby. Number two, it's strictly emotional in most cases, right? And I touched on this. It's strictly emotional. It only happens when we feel like it. Investment happens when we feel like it. That's what's cool about a hobby, right? Whatever your hobby is, it's something that you can just do when you want to and not when you don't, right? If you got a couple of dirt bikes, right? If you like to paint, whatever your hobby might be, there's some, I could say a million things, couldn't I? Right? You do that when you want to do it. Now, some hobbies you're passionate about, right? And if you can turn those into a business, now you're really moving. Now you're really talking. But hobbies are just something we engage when we want to, right? That's the beauty of a hobby. But a lot of the times, the reason a hobby doesn't become a business is because we don't really want them to ask much of us. That's not why we do it. It's a hobby. I do that for fun. I do that to decompress. I do that to relax. I do that because it gives me some excitement. Okay? If we treat trading like that, then we have to readjust what we think we're going to get out of it. Because I've not seen anybody be successful at trading who treats it like a hobby. So here's another one. Number 3, trading as a hobby, it doesn't have any goals. It doesn't have any goals. It doesn't have any strategy. It doesn't have any discipline. Maybe a little, but it has, again, that aspect of we are just doing it when we feel like doing it, right? And again, I'm going to say this loud and clear. That's not a bad thing, but we've got to recognize, that's a hobby. That's a hobby. It's not really producing like a business does. So what is trading as a business? What's the main differences? There's lots we could cover. But here's some main differences I think would be really helpful. And if you listen close to these, then you get some strategy, right? You get an idea of, okay, that's the direction I want to go. Because the things on my list are worth fighting for. Now, I tell people when I talk about the 150 things, it's a whole exercise that I do with people. We're covering pieces of it tonight. But I tell them, the first time I was challenged to write this list and then go back to the list and read it and reread it and pray over it, right? Have not because you ask not. And ask God to change the list, remove things, add things, like I mentioned earlier. I read that list and actually it was very emotional for me, you guys. There were things on that list, many things on that list. When I actually took the time to write them down, look at it, engage with it, I said to myself, that list is worth fighting for. There are so many beautiful things on that list. It's worth fighting for. And like I said, not just for my own benefit, but for the benefit of others as well. Both. By the way, I think when I'm healthy and whole and thriving and in overflow, it's one of the greatest blessings I can give my family. I don't have time to go into that whole concept, but investment in myself is an investment in those who are closest to me. So that's on my list too. That's worth fighting for. That is worth fighting for. Okay. So trading as a business is something that's actually meant to make a return. It's meant to make me money. That is the main reason I engage in it. That's the main reason I engage in it. And sometimes it's a little sneaky because we can say, well, that is the main reason I'm engaging in trading. I want it to make me money. But the problem is we're still treating it as a hobby. It's still stuck in the hobby, right? The hobby zone, if I can say it that way. So if trading is truly, right, it's meant to make you money, and that is what you would say to me, Blair, that's what it's meant for me. That's why I want to do it, or that's why I do it. Then I would say, okay, that means that we are, and are increasingly so, becoming okay with tracking our trades, planning our trades, organizing, learning the skill set, growing, doing it when we don't want to do it, right? We're putting together all the pieces to grow in the way we run our business. What business doesn't have bookkeeping, right? Has to have bookkeeping. What business doesn't track any results? In trading, we talk about quarterly results. Companies that we trade in the stock market, they report quarterly earnings. I just got a text right before I jumped on with you guys that Twitter has blown earnings out of the water. They've made more money than they made since 2014. They report their earnings, right? They track everything. That's what a business does. How do I know where I'm going to go if I don't know where I am and I don't know where I was? You say, well, I like the idea of getting into the charts and looking at companies and making money, but I don't know if I want to track anything. Now I'm playing this up, I'm playing this up. Not all of us are like that. Maybe some of us are like that. I'm kind of like that in some ways, which is why I'm saying it, right? We have to be able to engage the parts of it that maybe aren't so fun, maybe aren't so emotional. Now, trading is fun because success is fun. Like moving forward is fun. I've told you guys a lot lately on any of the teaching I've been in because I'm going through some pretty massive personal transformation in my own life. And I'll tell you, the reason I pursued it is because I wanted it to impact my trading. What do I mean? I hired a coach to help me in health and fitness, take me to another level. And the first thing he asked me to do was add in commitment levels that I wasn't used to doing. Now, I like working out, right? I enjoy that. But do I enjoy weighing my food, packing my food, tracking what I did last week, right? Limiting myself in some ways, disciplining here so I can grow here, timing my breaks. Just another level of commitment. And then, of course, his insight and encouragement, his expertise in teaching, right? his monitoring and motivating. That was all part of it. But there were pieces there that I thought, whoa, that's a commitment for me. That's a certain level of discomfort for me. Maybe those things aren't so normal. We're getting out of just a hobby. But you know what? I'm getting the results. Crazy results. People are asking me, how are you getting those results? When you get results in something, people are going to ask you too. And some of you already know that. You know what I mean. Switching from hobby to business might have some things that we go, ooh, that sounds like work. But you know what? Breakthrough sounds worth it. And breakthrough is reserved in the place of treating trading as a business, as something that is your business. And you are the CEO of this business. You get to have your own at-home stock trading business. So if it's really a business, those are the things we start to become more okay with. And we know that those things are going to produce the kind of stability and consistency that we need to grow in trading. And that makes it worth it. Okay. Another thing, what makes trading as a business? What does it look like? Let me just throw this out. We've talked about this on here before, you guys. We look at entities, right? Corporations, LLCs. Now, we don't need to jump into this early, right? I see some traders are just brand new stock traders and they wonder, do I need to open a corporation for my business? And I would say, no, you don't, right? There's no point in opening a business if you're not making any money yet. However, that's a conversation you can have down the road. Now, I'm not a tax strategist, right? I'm not a lawyer. So I have to say that up front. But we've done entire episodes on this in the past. You can go on YouTube and watch these on how that actually can be advantageous. There's two types of taxes really in the United States: personal tax and business tax. And the wealthy understand the differences. I promise you, they understand the differences, right? They understand. They may not understand the whole tax code, right? You don't need to know the whole tax code. I don't know if anybody does. It's so complicated. But there is a major difference between personal tax and business tax. And when you're conducting business, there are advantages to business tax, right? There are asset protection advantages in these entities. These are things that start to go, oh, this is a business. Now, do those things cost some money? Yeah, they do. They cost some money. But they give a benefit that's worth it when we're at a certain place pursuing our trading business. Okay, so that's stepping it up. That's on another level, right? Now, that's something we give at TRADEway. We give our students resources to know exactly who to talk to, how to do it, when is it right for you, when is it good to wait. We help people understand all of those things. So you don't have to worry, how do I figure all that out? Listen, I didn't know anything about that when I started. Nothing, zero. I had people around me who knew how to show me how to do it, right? You just have to know how to do some things. That's what you got. You just have to know how to do some things. And we can teach you how to do some things. You know, think about this. At a business, we keep training, right? At TRADEway, we keep training. I used to manage here at TRADEway, right? We train people. We're creating company culture. Why? Because we want to help you guys the very best we possibly can. Right? There's a commitment level to growth. I said I started training because I knew that added discipline in my life was going to affect my trading. It's not all compartmentalized. If I'm the one driving the ship, anything going on in me is going to happen while I'm driving that ship. And if the ship is my trading, I ought to look at what's going on in me because it's going to affect my trading. Right? We also help you understand, how does that work? But this is all exciting to me because it is part of what helps us move forward. It's part of what helps us have that potential to be successful business owners. But we have training. We have work hours, right? We have growth, personal growth, and we must invest. And I've talked about this. But a hobby isn't like that, is it? Right? A hobby's not like that. A hobby is there when we want it, and otherwise we just leave it alone. A business is not like that. A business is not like that. Now, the returns are greater, right? The potential for those returns is greater. But it's not just something we leave and attend to it when we want. That's a hobby. Okay? So we keep growing. We learn the tools. We learn the things we need to know. We get around people who are in our industry, our business. That's what TRADEway does. You say, I've got an at-home stock trading business. How could I spend time around people who also run at-home stock trading businesses? Light bulb, right? That's who we are. You guys are already partway there. I mean, you're joining us tonight. And again, many of you have joined us many times. We have to be able to make adjustments. And we do it. I'm going to say this again. I said it already, but we do it because we believe that it's worth it. See, if you have an expectation of an outcome that you desire, you'll invest in that. You will invest in that. We just don't invest in things that we don't actually believe are going to have a return. That's what we do. We don't invest in things that we don't actually believe will have a return. Right? So we have to understand, what is it that I actually want? And what commitment level do I need to have in my trading to get that? Okay? It's worth the investment. It's a shift that almost all of us need to make at some point. Because I find most people, you just find aspects of, oh, this is kind of a hobby, right? It's kind of a hobby. So I know I need to make a shift. I know I need to make a shift. So you can tell me, right? This is going to be something that is posted, and you can tell me in the comments, what has your journey been like in this area? Do you feel like you're trading as a hobby right now? Do you feel like you've moved into a business? Tell us some things about what that journey has been like for you. If you feel like it's a hobby, but you go, you know what, Blair, I'm listening to what you're saying, and I feel like I actually want this to be a business. Now, maybe I don't have a background in business. Maybe I don't consider myself a business owner or an entrepreneur, but this way of doing business, right, is actually very, very simple to set up. And I would at least like to treat it like a business. I would like to treat it like a business. That is the amazing thing about where we live, everybody. There are so many amazing opportunities. I've been overwhelmed with this lately. I've been telling Katie Huber, our COO here at TRADEway, wow, I already knew America was full of opportunity. But it's on another level. What I've seen in the last 3 weeks, it's just amazing. And this is such an amazing opportunity. And it really is a business. You get an opportunity to start your own business, and we can help you do that. So let me know, what did you think about this episode in the comments? How did this hit you? What are some of the ways that you think, hey, I could switch over to some of the things Blair said about having a business? And for those of you who say, I got this list, and I realize my commitment level's down here, but the breakthrough level I want is up here. I got to bring it up. How can I do that? That's exactly what we want to help you do here at TRADEway. Okay. So TRADEway.com, you'll see we have a step 1 event right there on the main page. If you've never come to a live event with us, go ahead, go to TRADEway.com. You can jump on the main page, get a ticket for a step 1 event today. This is going to be less than $100. We give you a money back guarantee. Spend 2 days with us. Let us show you the foundation of our trading system. You're going to be paper trading, right? You're going to be doing some virtual trading on your own before the event is even over. You owe it to yourself, having spent 34 minutes and 17 seconds with me tonight, to go get into that 2-day event, bring a friend, bring your spouse, and see what this is all about. And see how we can help you turn this incredible opportunity for just about anyone to an incredible opportunity for you. That's why we exist. That's what we're here to do. Thanks so much for being on tonight, guys. I appreciate you so much. We're back Thursday, Stock Talk Thursday, every Thursday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will be with you guys then. Thank you for being on, and we'll see you on Thursday.